About a year after we moved into our house, we discovered we had a problem. Now, we had had problems before, so we weren't too worried at first. But within a week or so of us using our tried and true methods to get rid of mice, we discovered that we had a different problem, a bigger problem. And so we brought in the experts, or so we thought. Our exterminator walked into our house and back out within a few minutes, only to tell us that he couldn't help us. It turns out that our problem was not mice, in fact, but instead it was bats. And instead, he pointed us to a guy who was an expert in bats. Turns out the Batman lives in Colorado. Yes, right around the corner from us lives Batman. And we had Batman come out to give us his take on our situation. Now, you would think, bringing an expert out, that he would have all the answers. But this guy came out and ended up just teaching us a lot about how bats operate. And he also only was able to give us a few recommendations. He couldn't definitively say that if you do X, you will get Y solution. He gave us some suggestions, some ideas of things that we could try, because he couldn't tell us 100% how to get rid of our bats. Now, gosh, that's mind-numbing. That's really frustrating when you get up to go to the bathroom at night and you think about bats flying around your house. But we took his ideas, we took his suggestions, and we knew we had to move forward. This whole situation really reminded me a lot of things I deal with day in and day out in marketing. Yeah, bats and marketing, who knew? But the thing is, there's a lot of parallels. First, there are unique situations we deal with day in and day out in marketing. Just as bats are really elusive, and we don't know always how they're going to react, how they're going to behave, in marketing we deal with the same thing every day, between changing algorithms, always ever-changing behavior changes. There's new trends in how people are behaving online. There's new parameters and filters, new trends, new platforms to play on. When your marketing strategy is locked in one specific situation, it's just not real life. Real life, it's a moving target, literally. And in our case, with the bats, they were moving around all the time. The second thing that you have to do is you have to bring in the experts. And we brought in our bat expert, we brought in our exterminator, and they couldn't give us the exact 100% certainty that this one thing was going to work. But you know what they did do? They pointed us in the right direction. They told us where to be paying attention. They told us what to be looking for. They told us what questions to be asking and what things to be watching for success. Marketing experts and the marketing people on your team are going to help you do the exact same things. They can't always tell you with 100% certainty that a certain strategy is going to work 100% of the time. But what they can do is they can point you in the right direction to make sure that you are looking at the right things, paying attention to the right problems, and looking for the right parameters to help you meet your goals. Then the third thing is that we got to work. We took the calculated steps, and a lot of people like to call these guesses. They say that there's a lot of guessing in marketing, but the reality is that if you are looking and using expertise and past experience, you aren't making guesses. You are making calculated steps to move forward. We weren't just guessing at how to get rid of our bats. We were taking calculated steps based on the expertise from our Batman expert and the experience we had gained from previous problems in our house to help us figure out how to get these bats out of our house. Now, what we actually ended up doing was pretty comical. It involved some caulk, some leather jackets, some rock climbing gear, loud music, a few tennis rackets. But we solved our problem. It took a little bit of time. And there were two main things that I took away from the process. Number one, I learned that you have to watch and see what's working. In your marketing, it's the same way. You're going to start a campaign, you're going to start a project, you're going to start a strategy. But you then have to watch to see how it's performing. You need to see if there are tweaks you need to make along the way. You need to do A/B testing so that you have just one variable in play so you know what variable is the one to change. We did the same thing with our bat situation. We did a little bit of work and then waited a few days. Watched to see how it worked out, to see if it was working. Eventually, the caulk, the ladders, the loud music, it all paid off. But it also showed me the second thing that I learned and was reminded about in marketing, and that is to stay creative. Yeah, most contractors aren't going to come into your house blaring music, wearing big goggles and a big leather jacket, waving a tennis racket in case a bat comes flying out at you. But a lot of times in marketing, we have to stay scrappy. We have to use what we've got and get creative with it. If we can stay creative, we can solve some pretty fun problems.